Bright morning star arising, day is a breaking in my soul. Welcome, welcome. My name is Suzannah Park, and I live down here in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm so delighted to get to spend a little chapter of time together here on this beautiful day. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of Revels Connects, the musical connection series. It's a delight to get to work with Revels, and I've had the honor to get to work with 5 different major productions for like the winter Appalachian holiday shows that have occurred. I got to do a couple up with Revels North in Hanover, New Hampshire. I think the first one was in 2006 and then again in 2013. I was in Houston in 2007. I was in the Cambridge Revels with my dear friend David Coffin in 2009. And then I did a show when that was at 2012 out in Portland, Oregon, and then got to be a part of their 2020 online celebration wintertime adventure. And now today, here we are together. So what a treat. Amazing musicians, beloved communities scattered around the country. And delighted to welcome you here into my living room. I'm going to sing you some songs from my upbringing. I started with the first verse of a song that's called Bright Morning Star. And this is a song that my family sings all the time. It was very, very beloved, particularly of my grandmother. On her epitaph, it says, Jerry Armstrong, Bright Morning Star. So get a cup of tea, get a blanket, pull in a friend, cuddle up, and we're going to have a little Appalachian British Isles musical time here together. Join in and sing whenever you'd like as well, because, you might be alone in your space. And so what a better opportunity would you have for adding in some harmonies or just some good old hurrahs. So join me in the next couple verses of Bright Morning Star. Oh, where are our dear mothers? Oh, where are our dear mothers? Some have gone to heaven shouting, day is a breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear fathers? Oh, where are our dear fathers? Some are down in the valley praying, day is a breaking in my soul. Bright morning star arising, bright morning star arising, bright morning star arising, day is a breaking in my soul. Today is a windy day, and there's still leaves hanging on, and here in the mountains, it's always a good thing to get to sing on a day, just hanging out and sing a bunch of songs. So a bit more about me. So I was born here in Asheville. I was born over in Canton, North Carolina, just a couple miles from here. And my parents separated when I was 2, and my mom went back to Chicago to be near her family, my grandparents and my aunt. And up in Chicago, my grandparents had been given the sort of, the joking title, I don't really know, it's just the nickname of the mom and pop of the Chicago folk music scene. And so growing up back and forth between here in Western North Carolina and in Chicago, it was an ever-changing flow of musicians and traditional music. So in in Chicago, we got to have a lot of Irish music and a lot of blues and a lot of old time and a lot of folks coming in and out because Chicago is such a hub for touring musicians. And then we come back down here and we go into tons of different festivals and square dances and getting to just hang out on people's porches and lots of fiddle tunes and banjos and clogging. And it was this beautiful way of being steeped in traditional American music, predominantly from white folks that had traveled here. And then obviously, as happens, all of the different communities sort of relate and connect together. When I was up in Chicago as a young person, there was a wonderful family we were really close with, an Irish family, Catholic Irish family called, they were the Malones, and they had a band that was called By Blood and Marriage, and it was a brother and sister who both married musical partners, and so they had this, they made this tape that my sister and I loved when we were little, and I'm going to sing you a little song that is off of that cassette tape. And it's just playful. Another way of landing together is just to get to sing some songs that are fun. So this is another one good to join in on. Has some nonsense syllables as the chorus. And a good Irish song. So a shout out to my Breen family from Chicago, my Irish ancestry. Here we have Here I Am Amongst You. Here I am amongst you, and I'm here because I'm here, and I'm only 12 months older than I was this time last year. To my two-raya, to my two-raya, hooray, oh, right, alum, to my two-raya, to my two-raya, hooray. Oh, never throw a brick to a drowning man when you're near to a grocery store. Just throw him a cake of sunlight soap and he'll wash himself ashore. To my two-raya, to my two-raya, hooray, oh, right, alum, to my two-raya, to my two-raya, hooray. Oh, it's early to bed and early to rise, the same I don't think true, 'cause I never met Aug, or how in the hell can a man go to bed when he has none to go to? Raya, to my two-raya, to my two-raya, hooray, oh, right, alum, to my two-raya, to my two-raya, hooray. Oh, the more man has, the more man wants, the same I don't think true, 'cause I never met a man with one black eye that wished that he had two. Raya, to my two-raya, to my two-raya, hooray, oh, right, alum, to my two-raya, to my two-raya, hooray. Right, a-light-a-lee, a-lee, a-lum, diddle-light, a-lum, diddle-dido, right, a-lee, a-lee, a-lum, diddle-lum, dum, diddle-dido, right, a-lee, a-lee, a-lum, diddle-light, a-lum, diddle-dido, right, a-lee, a-lee, a-lum, dum, diddle-dido, right, a-lum, dum, diddle-diddle-dido, dido, right, a-lee, a-lee, a-lum, diddle-lum, dum, diddle-lum, dido, right, a-lum, dum, diddle-diddle-dido, diddle-dido, right, a-lee, a-lee, a-lum, diddle-lum, dum, diddle-lum, dido. When I was little, I loved songs that played with sort of what was happening, and I think sometimes I didn't understand the jokes, but I would like that the adults would laugh, and I thought that made the songs even more fun. So the Malones were some musical Irish close beloveds, and then we'd hop back down here to the south, and one of our beloved surrogate family members down here his name is Bob Willoughby, a fabulous guitar player, fiddler, bass player. He plays a 4-string banjo because a string broke and he didn't have another one, so he figured out how to play play four strings. Incredibly talented musician and one of my most beloved humans. And he taught me this song at some point. So this is a good old, sweet, southern feeling kind of one that's a little bit croony and sad and like, oh. And if you're there in the house right now with someone and you know how to waltz, this is a good moment for that and to stare lovingly at each other. Or if you have an animal or if you just want to hug a pillow, that's a good thing too. This is called Nobody's Darling and good for harmonies too. Come sit by my side, little darling. Come lay your cool hand on my brow. Promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. Be nobody's darling but mine, love. Be honest, be faithful and kind. And promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. Well, you're as sweet as the flowers in springtime, and you're as dear as the dew to the rose. I'd rather be somebody's darling than a poor girl that nobody knows. So be nobody's darling but mine, love. Be honest, be faithful and kind, and promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. My mama is dead and in heaven, and sister has gone on, I know. And father is gone to be with them, but where I'll go nobody knows. Oh, be nobody's darling but mine, love. Be honest, faithful and kind. Promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. Oh, goodbye, goodbye, little darling. I'm leaving this cold world behind. So promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. Oh, be nobody's darling but mine, love. Be honest, be faithful and kind. Promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. Oh, please promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. I can picture y'all dancing. Keep it up, keep it up. Thanks so much. Another song. It's an evening of songs. Another musical beloved of mine is a man by the name of Bob Lucas. He lives up in Rushville, Ohio, and he's an incredible banjo player and singer, and had a band in the 70s, I think still into the 80s as well, that was called Eclectricity. Now he's got albums out, find him, is a spectacular musician. This is a song that I heard him singing at some point in life. I can't remember when. I was probably 12 or so, and we were out on an island. David Coffin was there. Hello, David Coffin. There's a festival out on an island, Swans Island, off the coast of Maine. And there's a festival called the Sweet Chariot Festival. And there's islanders and all the musicians for the festival come take the ferry out to the island. And then the audience are a handful of islanders, but mostly it's these big schooners that come in and they anchor and they row ashore for this kind of vaudeville evening. And the concerts are really fun, but my favorite part was there was a woman who made cakes, amazing cakes and pastries. And at the after party, after the concerts, when all the folks on the boats had gone back, all the musicians would just get to hang out and sing songs until early in the morning and dance on the little porch. And it was just an amazing, fun festival to get to be a part of for a bunch of years as a young person. And I was singing with my sister, Georgia Rose, and Bob Lucas's stepdaughter, Chloe, and we had a little trio. And this was the song I'm about to sing is one that I initially heard Bob sing there out on the island. And it became one of my favorite songs that I would always ask him to sing when we were out there. Under the stars, out on this beautiful small island. So picture yourself there. If there's somewhere you like to go out in the wilderness, this song is for that kind of moment. And join in. It is an old camp meeting song. Down here in North Carolina, where I live, in Western North Carolina, just north, there's a fabulous woman named Sheila K. Adams. And she's also a storyteller and a banjo player and a singer. And she sings this song as well. She's up in Madison County. And I'm just going to drop lots of names, and you'll have some musical folks to look up and listen to for this new year that we're about to be in. So this is called Camp a Little While in the Wilderness. Let's see. We'll camp a little while in the wilderness, in the wilderness, in the wilderness. We'll camp a little while in the wilderness, and then I'll be going home, and then I'll be going home, and then I'll be going home. We're all making ready, oh, ready, and then I'm a-going home. Oh, sisters, are you ready? Ready, oh, sisters, are you ready? And then I'll be going home, and then I'll be going home, and then I'll be going home. We're all making ready, oh, ready, and then I'll be going home. Oh, brothers, are you ready? Ready, oh, brothers, are you ready? And then I'll be going home, and then I'll be going home, and then I'll be going home. We're all making ready, oh, ready, and then I'll be going home. So we'll camp a little while in the wilderness, in the wilderness, in the wilderness. We'll camp a little while in the wilderness, and then I'm a-going home, and then I'm a-going home, and then I'm a-going home. We're all making ready, oh, ready, and then I'm a-going home. hope you're singing along. I'm liking that idea. This next piece I'm going to do for you is one jumping back to Chicago, a musical influence from kindergarten. If only everyone could have Sparky Rucker come to their house in kindergarten and start telling them stories about the Underground Railroad and about different blues musicians and traveling by train. And whenever he came to visit us, he would arrive with his guitar case, which was covered in stickers, and he wore this black fringed leather jacket with a leather vest and a really awesome belt buckle and boots and this beautiful leather hat. And he was just, to me, he was just this spectacular, magical man that would sort of just find his way to our house for a couple times per year. I was talking to my mom earlier this past month, and recently, and I was asking her when. I was like, I remember meeting Sparky when I was in like kindergarten. We lived in this little basement apartment, and I remember he just filled the room, and I would hang on every word. And I was like, when did you meet him? And she was telling me that she had gone on a tour with my father and her and Guy and Candy Carawan, from the Highlander Center, a fabulous place also in Tennessee, just over the mountain here. And Sparky, and they'd done this little tour around the South together in the 70s before I was born. Anyway, so that's when she'd first met Sparky. So she's like, yeah, once I moved back to Chicago, we were just a hub for him to come in and visit us. So anyway, Sparky would show up, and he would always do a house concert. And he would have other gigs around the city. And I just remember getting to sit at his feet and listen. And I remember this particular song is one of the earliest songs I remember learning that he sang. And I loved how he would play his guitar, and he'd sort of take you through the history of the song before he sang it to you, kind of giving you information that, at least as a kindergartner, I had never heard before. And so I don't play guitar like he does, and so I'm not going to even try that. But I'm going to give you a little bit of the journey through this song, the way I remember it from when I was little. So this song starts by saying, giving you directions for the time of the year. When the sun comes up and the first quail calls, and if you're connected to the animals, you'll know that call and the sun at this particular time of year is then a good time to go, meaning the passage will be the most easeful to head north. And if you follow the drinking gourd, and the drinking gourd is the reference to the constellation, the Great Dipper. Here in our hemisphere, on this continent, we can see that, and the North Star points north. And so if you're able to align to the stars in the right season, this is the first clue. The second verse is saying, the riverbank makes a mighty good road, and the dead trees will show you the way. And this first river that's being referenced is the Tombigbee River. And that river winds its way up into like the highest point in Mississippi. And so if you follow that way, that's going to be your initial northern river route. And that the dead trees would be marked by people on the Underground Railroad. And so the next line says, left foot, peg foot, traveling on. So there was a man by the name of Pegfoot Joe, and he had been a sailor. So then when the chorus comes around, the old man is waiting to carry you to Canaan. Old man was an honorific that would be used for the captain on a ship. And Pegfoot Joe, Rosa Parks in a interview said that it was her recollection that Pegfoot Joe had been a sailor. So the old man is waiting to carry you to Canaan is a way of honoring Pegfoot Joe. And on those dead trees, he would put with charcoal a drawing of a foot and of a dot. And if you followed that river with these signs. The next verse is talking about more references to finding your way through nature. So it's talking about the river ends between two hills, and that's referencing Woodall Mountain, which again is up there in the the high point of Mississippi. And if you go to the other side of that mountain, that's where you're going to connect with the Tennessee River. And then if you follow the Tennessee River, you're going to end up connecting with the Ohio River. And if you keep going and connect all the way to that point, on the other side of the Ohio is Illinois. And someone will be waiting to carry you to Canaan. And it may not be Pegfoot Joe, but someone would be there to welcome you. So here we go with Drinking Gourd. In honor of Sparky and Rhonda Rucker of Knoxville, Tennessee. When the sun comes back and the first quail calls, now is the time to go. For the old man is waiting for to carry you to Canaan. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting for to carry you to Canaan. Follow the drinking gourd. The river bank will make a mighty good road. The dead trees will show you the way. Left foot, peg foot, traveling on. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting for to carry you to Canaan. Follow the drinking gourd. The river ends between two hills. Follow the drinking gourd. There's another river on the other side. Follow the drinking gourd. Oh, follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting for to carry you to Canaan. Follow the drinking gourd. When the little river makes the great big one, follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting for to carry you to Canaan. Follow the drinking gourd. Oh, follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting for to carry you to Canaan. Follow the drinking gourd. Yes. With all of the importance around the Black Lives Matter movement that we have seen so much of in 2020 and has clearly been in the works for so many years prior to that, but a really just a shout out to all the organizers, to the history, to making it more visible. On the 30th here in town, there is a memorial going up in the center of downtown Asheville, where I live, in recognition and remembrance of 3 Black men that were lynched as part of our county's history. And may the hurt and the strength and the celebration of spirit be brought forward again and again. And there's so much to celebrate, and there's so much to grieve, and there's so much work to be done. And may this one song and that little piece of history give you a little more clarity and hopefully bring a little more hope for some folks on your day. Another hard song, but another beautiful song. This is another piece that I listened to a lot as a young child. My father is an actor and a storyteller and an artist and a photographer and a swimming hole finder. And when he was younger, when my sister and I were little kiddos, he was in a outdoor theater show in Lexington, Virginia. There was a company called Lime Kiln Theater. It's still there, and they do beautiful outdoor shows. And then back in the 80s, they were doing a show that was called Stonewall Country, and it was a story about the Civil War, specifically and how it related to a particular man by the name of Stonewall Jackson. And my father played Stonewall Jackson, and it was a musical theater show in these outdoor lime kilns. And so the actors and actresses would come in and out of these abandoned lime kilns, like in the mountainside. And it was a battle play filled with incredible music that was written by Robin and Linda Williams. And when I was little, they were in that show, and they were 2 of my most favorite musicians to kind of tag along with. And they had a little dog named Jake. And that, to me, I always wanted a dog, so I was like in heaven. I was being sung to and getting to hang out with a little animal. But the songs, a lot of them were hard. And this was, I think, from the time I was maybe kindergarten through 8 or something. My dad was in these shows. And I'm going to sing you one of the pieces that Robin and Linda wrote. This is called The War's Gone Bad on Me. And doing this north-south hop of my childhood, I could see so clearly the hurt that this country still carries, not just because of slavery, but because of war, and where it wasn't safe to have my southern accent in the north, and it wasn't safe to have my northern accent in the south. And the way that I kind of felt like I had to keep figuring out how to fit, depending on if I was in Chicago or Western North Carolina. And as a young person, I loved this song. It also speaks to classism, that so much of war is able to occur because there's people that will fill the ranks. And usually that's low-income folks. And we know from the Civil War and all of our wars that tons of Native and Black people signed up, specifically men as well as some women dressed as men. And so this is a song that I loved because it just spoke to the harshness of war, and that there really is no winner in a certain way when the death field takes people. So this is called The War's Gone Bad on Me from Stonewall Country. And with much love and respect to Robin and Linda Williams and all the fallen soldiers, for whatever reason their lives were claimed. I marched away with shouts and songs. I didn't think I'd be gone long from my home and from my family. It never crossed my mind back then that this was how my life would end. Oh, the war's gone bad on me. Oh, the war's gone bad on me. All your letters sound so sad. news from home was bad, and I've been 2 years without thee. A rich man, he can buy his way. The poor man, he can just obey. Oh, the war's gone bad on me. Oh, the war's gone bad on me. So fare thee well, my darling Sue. Goodbye, Jane and Ephraim too. I am gone, you'll have no daddy now. For starting out to see my wife and children, I will lose my life. Oh, the war's gone bad on me. Oh, the war's gone bad on me. So damn old Abe and damn Jeff Davis and damn the day that I enlisted. Damn the Union and damn the Confederacy. They've deceived me from the start, and I am sadly out of heart. Oh, the war's gone bad on me. Oh, the war's gone bad on me. And in my last and darkest night, I'll give up this earthly fight. I know my troubles here, they won't follow me. Tomorrow I will meet my God at the hands of the firing squad. Oh, the war's gone bad on me. Oh, the war's gone bad on me. When David asked me to be a part of this, I should have known if you're going to pick songs in the winter or heading in that direction. I don't know if this happens to you all, but the leaves fall and the days get cooler, and there's something about that time of year and the beginning to head towards a new year that I tend to really pay attention to some of the harder things, and I find that getting to sing about them is one of the most hopeful ways to not get stuck and continue to pay attention. This next piece is one that there's a group that came out of Philadelphia in the 1990s. They're called the Kensington Welfare Rights Union, and they created an adaptation together of an old gospel song that they could utilize while fighting together or working together. And these were folks that were both Black, Latinx, and white welfare recipients, and they were looking to reclaim their dignity, their power, their autonomy. And so they took this old gospel song that had spoken to going down to the enemy's camp and that Satan is under your feet, and they put some new words to that. And I wanted today thank and do a shout out to Lee Merritt, who is a civil rights attorney who is currently running for Texas Attorney General. And I think hopefully you all know someone that is in your region or in your town. Another shout out to a local city council member, Kim Roney, paying attention and seeing who's going to put their energy in on that legal level. So shout out to the two of them. And may we all find the dignity that we need in our family situations, as well as the larger systemic way that we get to move in the world. This is called A Rich Man's House. And thanks to the folks from Philadelphia for given these new words. I've taught this to a bunch of teenagers and at lots of different protests, and it's a good one for those of you looking for another song to share in those sorts of situations. Here's a good one. Well, I went down to the rich man's house, and I took back what they stole from me, and I took back my dignity, I took back my humanity, and now it's under my feet, under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't no system gonna walk all over me. Oh, well, I went down to the landlord's house, and I took back what they stole from me, and I took back my dignity, I took back my humanity, and now it's under my feet, under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't no system gonna walk all over me. Well, I went down to the state house, and I took back what they stole from me, and I took back my dignity, I took back my humanity, and now it's under my feet, under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't no system gonna walk all over me. Oh, well, I went down to the White House, and I took back what they stole from me, and I took back my dignity, I took back my humanity, and now it's under my feet, under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't no system gonna walk all over, ain't no system gonna walk all over, ain't no system gonna walk all over me. Fun one. Yes, yes. If you're in need of more protest songs, down here in North Carolina, the Poor People's Campaign is going strong, and they have put a lot of heart into really good protest songs. So connect in that way again and find some other songs. So one more sort of heavy one, and then we'll sort of shift a little and do something else. This last song, I love talking about classism. I don't think enough people talk about it. And one of the things about folk music is it's just so rich and full of classism, because it's folk music. It's written by the folk, and we tend to be on the on this part of this stack that we've designed. And so there's so many lessons and beautiful stories, or hard and beautiful stories that come out of that. And there's a singer by the name of Addie Graham. She was from Eastern Kentucky. She's no longer with us, but luckily we do have a handful of recordings of her singing. And this is one of the songs I learned. I learned this from her singing, and it's just poignant, and it's just look her up. And there's always people that are, programs and things about being generous in the winter. And this song, if you ever needed a song to remind you to be generous, and this is a good reminder for that. And if you are ever hungry, if you have ever been hungry or cold, that is not, it's not fun. And so here we go. This is called Orphan Girl. No home, cried the orphan girl at the door to the rich man's hall. She shivering stood on the marble steps and leaned on the marble wall. My father, alas, I never knew, He's gone on the ocean wide. My mother, she sleeps in a new dug grave. It's an orphan who begs tonight. Oh, give me a place out of this cold wind, a place to lie down, she pled. A pallet in the corner will do for me, but please a piece of bread. Now the rich man shook his haughty head, and then he slammed his mansion door. His proud mouth curled in a smile, and he said, I've no room, no bread for the poor. Then I must freeze, and she sank on the steps, trying to cover her feet in a ragged little dress, all tattered and torn and covered with snow and sleet. The rich man sat down to his table fine, where he and his family fed, and the little girl sat on the icy steps and cried for a piece of bread. The rich man lay down on a velvet couch, and he dreamed of silver and gold. And the little girl lay in the icy steps and murmured, so hungry, so cold. Well, the night drew on, and the church bell chime rang out her funeral knell. The earth was wrapped in a winding sheet, and the blinding snow still fell. And then the morning dawned, and the orphan girl lay dead at the rich man's door. But her soul had fled to the realms above, where there's room and bread for the poor. The rich man still lay on his velvet couch, and his soul too had fled. Now I don't know where such men go, I just know that one of them's dead. Winter. Oh, gets us. A shift. Let's have a shift. So I'm a little bit of a musical, political kitten. I think you can't be a part of folk music and not hear all the intermingling and mushiness of the way that different types of oppression gets sung out. I think is just a piece of how we survive, is we process through music and stories. And so this is a bunch of story songs. And thanks again for being on this journey with me. It's been fun to create all these songs. So this is heading in the direction of like, there's historical ballads. So like the one we just heard, it could be a historic ballad that was made up in a particular town around a particular loss. It also could just be speaking to that larger issue. This next song is one that is called a historical ballad. So it takes an actual event and then it sets it to music, and it puts in a lot of the details of that event. And when I was little with my mom, we'd have these house concerts at our house or with my grandparents, and doing things at the Old Town School of Folk Music and all the different amazing pubs scattered throughout Chicago that host incredible traditional music events. And so the tons and tons of music that way. And with my dad, we went to a bunch of festivals during the summer. And so we'd be on these like kind of summertime road trips. And he had this silver cassette tape that we bungee corded to the dashboard. And then we had our favorite cassette tapes. So like the Trio we had that one in there. We had this really great tape that was by a trio of folks, Christian, Huxtable, and Hood. And this is a song that we fell in love with that was on that tape. And my sister and I would sing it, and I introduced it to my trio, Gideon Crevichet and Avery Book. We did a trio project together a handful of years back, pre-COVID. And anyway, it's a fun song to get to sing because it's historic, but also it's like environmentally political. And I like that in 1649, there was a movement to share food and to share resources, and that specifically, no one's at fault for where oppression gets tricky. We're all kind of figuring things out, and I think in general around the environmental movement now, it's really important to follow Indigenous leaders and communities. However, it's also really sweet to know that it's in our DNA, if you also come from the British Isles, that there are groups of people that have always known about this as well, that there's a way that we get to tap into our old wisdom on this as well while we follow Native leadership. A shout out to Missy Crow, who's down in Cherokee, North Carolina here, and the Red-Tail Hawk Collective, as well as the Indigenous Environmental Network. Those are some of the folks that I like to be connected with down here. And the last thing I'll say before I sing this song is that there's always a project that you could get behind environmentally, a way that you could share resource and food. And a shout out to all the water protectors for Line 3, the Line 3 proposed pipeline that would be bringing close to, is it 1 billion? I think it's a million barrels of tar sands oil per day from Alberta, Canada, all the way through Anishinaabe territory, through untouched wetlands, going across the Mississippi River headwaters to end up at Lake Superior in Wisconsin. And this is a proposed replacement pipeline, so then they wouldn't even be cleaning up the old one. They just leave that there to do what it does. So anyway, to all those water protectors, may we continue to find the common ground together, as in this song by lyrics, I think it was Leon Roth, something with an R. Ooh, I'll have to put it in a chat. But this is called The World Turned Upside Down, and may you find more ways to turn yourself upside down if it makes for an exciting new adventure. Here we go. In 1649 to St. George's Hill, the ragged band they called the Diggers came to show the people's will. They defied the landlords, they defied the laws. They were the dispossessed, reclaiming what was theirs. We come in peace, they said, to dig and sow. We come to work the land in common and to make the wastelands grow. This earth divided, we will make whole, so it can be a common treasury for all. The sin of property we do disdain, no man has any right to buy and sell this earth for private gain. By theft and murder, they seize the land. Now everywhere the walls rise up at their command. They make the laws to chain us well. Their clergy dazzle us with heaven, or they damn us into hell. We will not worship the God they serve, the God of greed who feeds the rich while poor men starve. We come in peace, they said, to dig and sow. We come to work the land in common and to make the wastelands grow. This earth divided we will make whole, so it can be a common treasury for all. We work, we eat together, we need no swords. We will not bow to the masters, nor pay rent to the lords. We are free men, though we are poor. You diggers all stand up for glory, stand up now. From the men of property, the orders came. They sent the hired men and troopers to wipe out the diggers' claim, tear down their cottages, destroyed their corn. They were dispersed, only the vision lingers on. We come in peace, they said, to dig and sow. We come to work the land in common and to make the wastelands grow. This earth divided we will make whole, so it can be a common treasury for all. You poor take courage, you rich take care. This earth was made a common treasury for everyone to share. All things in common, all people one. We come in peace, the order came to cut them down. We come in peace, they said, to dig and sow. We come to work the land in common and to make the wastelands grow. This earth divided we will make whole, so it can be a common treasury for all. Thanks so much. Ooh, how are y'all doing? Get some more tea. It's a musical journey. It's like, movies, they always get a little crunchy, and I promise we'll resolve in a way that you don't feel sunk. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. We survive a lot. We have, and we will, and we are. So one of the other hats that I wear is, for many, many years, I got to travel around and teach with an organization called Village Harmony. They're based up in central Vermont, and they were founded by a man named Larry Gordon, a beloved friend. And they still run music camps and educational online projects, etc. And I attended initially as a young person, and then I started touring with them and teaching for them when I was still in my late teens. And so the way that these camps can function, the way that they work, is it's based in traditional music, and you pull at least 3 instructors from different parts of the world together, and we teach a concert worth of material, sharing the role of that, these 3 teachers. So, for instance, I could be teaching Appalachian, British Isles stuff. Matlakalo Bobape, another of my friends and colleagues from Polokwane, South Africa, would be teaching South African traditional songs and dances. And then Eva Selena Primac, a wonderful singer who lives now in Brooklyn, would be teaching Bulgarian and Serbian music, for instance. And we get to all sort of share together. So the fun part for me in wanting to rebel from this kind of upbringing that you've seen that I had, this north-south hop and all these traditional songs, and my grandparents knew more verses to any song I could ever hope to sing. And so to start singing songs that are traditional that weren't in English was a little bit of how I could have my teenage rebellion. So I was very excited that every project I did with Village Harmony, I got to learn songs from other tradition bearers of other parts of the world. And so it's a wonderful organization. I'm delighted to still be a part of it. And I'm also delighted that I've gotten to sing specifically in Bulgarian since I was 12. And so it is not my language, but I'm comfortable in it. I love it. So I'm going to sing you a lovey song. Isn't that so nice? You get a little moment. This is another moment of lightness. It's a song called Petlite Peyat. I learned this one from Eva. And the translation is saying that the birds are singing, and there's a man comes riding up on his horse, and he rides up to this woman. She's a beautiful woman, and her name is Sunka. And then she yells at him, like, "What are you, like, crazy boy, what are you doing on that horse?" And so he jumps down and he kisses her. And that's where the song ends. I'm not doing any like naughty romantic songs in this program because it's a live stream and you don't know who's listening. So just depressing things and then romantic things that don't get too steamy. You have to come find me for those later. So here we go with this Bulgarian song, Petlite Peyat. And I love thinking about language liberation and celebrating other parts of the world. Getting out of the dominant English U.S. conversation. I love it. And also a moment here to celebrate another part of the world that's so dear to me. Petlite pejat nasanuvane, kodlite dronkat pogladen site. Haludo mlado konjasi, sjaka na drum da ide, libe da vidi. Haludo mlado konjasi, sjaka na drum da ide, libe da vidi. Vavarakovica, libe da vidi, cunka hubava. Otoluide, cunka hubava, cunka gizdava. Otoluide, cunka hubava, cunka gizdava. Ne butai konia tikum tu mene, ne migaj soko breludo mlado. Pusto to ludo od konia, slezna hemia pregurna, hemia celuna. Pusto to ludo od konia, slezna hemia pregurna, hemia celuna. Thank you. So at Village Harmony, another thing that occurs, if it's a teenage singing camp, then you're often teaching about cooking and like cleaning up and tour jobs and all these different pieces that kind of come with living in community and then going on the road. And when we're in our rehearsal week, we're cooking and cleaning all of our meals. And so whenever I was cooking breakfast, I would teach and create a breakfast song. And so I'm going to do a composition of a melody. So I would borrow melodies from traditional songs so that they'd be learning a new melody, and then we'd come up with random new words. So this is one that we came up with a hunk of years ago, and in one of the mornings when we were making a sweet zucchini bread for breakfast. And there's a fabulous ballad called Lily-O. And a shout out to a beloved friend and someone I grew up in Village Harmony with and very close family friends, Sam Amadon. And he has an awesome album out of the same title. However, this is not that song. This is my version for a breakfast song about a zucchini. This is called Zucchini-O. The sun did rise and the garden bloomed. Grow zucchini-O streets, not knowing it's doomed. Oh, my little zucchini-o. It wandered one day into a kitchen. Oh, zucchini-o, traveling through the mist, rolling in a pitchin'. Beware, zucchini-o. In the kitchen, the zucchini met a lord. Oh, zucchini-o, but little did it know the Lord had a sword. Beware, zucchini-o. The zucchini asked to be the Lord's new friend. Oh, zucchini-o, but the Lord said no, your life must end. Time to die, zucchini-o. Shred, oh, shred my tender soul. Oh, zucchini-o, but in your bread my life's made whole. It's the fate of the elongated zucchini-o. Cheers. May you have a sweet treat. Have a handful more songs for you. So there's another theme in ballads that is important to touch on, and that is referenced in the zucchini song, where the zucchini wanders and doesn't make it. And this is very common in the songs about women. And so there's many, many, many songs that I could sing that are just rough for the ladies. Some of them are murder ballads, and a lot of them are also around pregnancy. And then they get pregnant, they're wooed, and then they're not wed, and then they're ruined. And there's a huge collection of those as well. But growing up, I could sing you many of them. I'm thinking I won't sing you any today. I think that this is going to be okay. You'll survive not hearing one right now. But just know that I could sing you at least 60, and I'm going to skip that concert and just say that's a whole theme. And growing up in a musical family, my mother and my aunt as these powerful women, obviously generations above us, and then my sister and I singing all these traditional songs, we really wanted to know that there were songs where the women didn't have a rough time of it and end up in the bottom of the river. And so we collected a bunch of them, and this is one of my favorites. This one's called The Crafty Maid's Policy. My mom learned this song from Frankie Armstrong sometime in the 70s. 74, I think she said. Bad with numbers, but at some point. And this is called The Crafty Maid's Policy. Yay for us winning. Come, listen a while, and I'll sing you a song of three merry gentlemen riding along. They met a fair maid, and to her did say, I'm afraid this cold morning may do you some harm. Oh no, kind sirs, I fear you're mistaken to think this cold morning may do me some harm. There's something I crave, it lies twixt your legs. If you'll give me that, it will keep me warm. Well, since you do crave it, my dear, you shall have it, if you'll come with me to yonder green tree. Well, since you do crave it, my dear, you shall have it, I'll have these two gentlemen witnesses be. And so the gentleman lighted, and straightway she mounted, and looking the gentleman hard in the face, you knew not my meaning, you wrong understood me, and away she went galloping over the plains. Oh, gentlemen, lend me one of your horses, that I might ride after her down the long lane, and when I o'ertake her, I warrant I'll make her return to me my own horse again. But when this fair maid she saw them a-comin', she instantly then took her pistol in hand, saying, "Doubt not my skill, you I will kill. I'll have you stand back, or you are a dead man." Oh, why do we spend our time here in talking? Oh, why do you spend your time here in vain? Come give her a guinea, it's what she deserves, and I warrant I'll give you her own horse again. Oh no, kind sirs, you're vastly mistaken. If it is his loss, well then it is my gain. And you are the witness that he gave it to me. And away she went galloping over the plain. My sister and I used to laugh about how delighted we were that there was a song that had the word vastly in it. Gets me every time. So, as you can hear, I've grown up in this musical world, and my grandparents met at the radio station WFMT in Chicago, and my grandfather played the Highland bagpipes, and my grandma was there to sing, and my grandfather was playing in like full Highland dress whenever he would play the pipes, and my grandma asked him why he was dressed up to play on the radio, because no one would know. And he said, "I would know." And she thought, "Ooh, how dreamy. Maybe we should get married and start a family." I don't know if she thought that then, but that's what happened. Anyway, they stayed really connected with that radio station, and my grandfather had a radio show for many, many years called The Wandering Folk Song, and I have inherited their record collection, and so I've got a new project that I'm starting in the new year that's called Marked with a Star, and it's going through all the records, and there's different marks on all these different records and notes from the artists that gifted them to my grandparents, and it's a fun way that I'm getting to keep learning songs kind of through my grandparents and offering them out into the world. So it's going to be a fun project that is coming your way. And maybe I'll even find another song that says vastly. You never know. I'm going to sing you just a couple more. This next song is one that is by Johnny Russell and Vonnie Morrison, and just another take on love songs. There's so many options. This is called Making Plans, and this is like bummer you're leaving me kind of one. So if something hard has happened, this is a good one. This is a good one to learn, and I'm so glad you're here. Well, they say tomorrow you're going. That's so hard for me to believe. I'm making plans to be lonesome, 'cause you're making plans to leave. The teardrops from me will be falling like a tree shedding its leaves. I'm making plans for the heartache, 'cause you're making plans to leave. Now you're making plans to forget me. I'm making plans to miss you, and I'm getting ready to grieve. I'm making plans to be lonesome, 'cause you're making plans to leave. Now you're making plans to forget me. I'm making plans to miss you, and I'm getting ready to grieve. I'm making plans to be lonesome, 'cause you're making plans to Well, two more songs before I send you off into the rest of your day or night, whenever you've tuned in here. This next song is another one that's just kind of fun and playful, and I don't remember where I learned it from. Yeah, I'm not sure when it would have come into my world, but I'm excited to sing it for you. It's called Hop High, My Lulu Gal. Oh, where did you get them high top shoes and the dress that you wear so fine? I got my shoes from the railroading man, and the dress is from the driver in the mine. Oh, hop high, hop high, hop high, my Lulu girl. Oh, hop high, hop high, hop high, my Lulu girl. Well, I'll pawn you my watch and I'll pawn you my chain. I'll pawn you my gold wedding ring to pay my little Lulu's fine. I'll pawn you my wagon and my team. Oh, hop high, hop high, hop high, my Lulu girl. Oh, hop high, hop high, hop high, my Lulu girl. Now where have you been, my pretty little girl? And where have you been so long? I've been in the pen with them rough and rowdy men, and honey, now I'm going back again. Whoa, hop high, hop high, hop high, my Lulu girl. Whoa, hop high, hop high, hop high, my Lulu girl. In my head, I can hear a whole band. Well, here we are at the end of the evening or day, and I got one more song to sing for you. And thank you again for tuning in and for supporting musicians all through the COVID chapter, and that this is just a sweet new way that I hope will continue even as we recover out of this pandemic chapter, where different organizations keep doing projects like this, where you get to kind of be in someone else's living room in their space and get to see a bit of their musical world. It's a beautiful thing that that Revels Connects is offering. So thank you to all of you, David Coffin particularly, and to all of you. To all of you for tuning in right now, in my life, to all of my teachers and family members and mentors and all the recording engineers and not engineers that made albums so that all these songs got passed the way they did. For all of us being a part of the oral tradition. And end with a piece called Hick's Farewell. And this is a song that I learned from my friend Darren Douglas. She also did a Revels show with me. The one down in, down up over in Hanover, New Hampshire. And she's the granddaughter of Jane Hicks Gentry, who was an amazing singer that lived up in Hot Springs, Madison County, the next county north from me here. And this is a great song for closing out any singing gathering. So thanks for coming to my living room, and go well, be well. And here we go. The time is sweetly rolling on when you and I must part. Oh, little do we know of the grief and woe when blessed with a singing heart. Our time that's past is filled with song, and it spins and travels on, but all for the part we keep to ever done. So I bid to you a hopeful farewell as we travel the road along, and may the way be peaceful, true, and strong, and may your hearts be filled ever with song. Thank you and good night. Come sit by my side, little darling. Come lay your cool hand on my brow. Promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. Be nobody's darling but mine, love. Be honest, be faithful and kind, and promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. Well, you're as sweet as the flowers in springtime, and you're as dear as the dew to the rose. I'd rather be somebody's darling than a poor girl that nobody knows. So be nobody's darling but mine, love. Be honest, be faithful and kind, and promise me that you will never be nobody's darling but mine. My mama is dead and in heaven, and sister has gone on, I know, and father is gone to be with them, but where I'll go nobody knows. Oh, be nobody's darling but mine, love. Be honest, faithful and kind. Promise me that you will never be nobody's darling